Hey everyone, welcome to JUENFO Kitchen where we just enjoy food. So let's enjoy this flavorful, authentic Jamaican curried goat. Okay, so I have here 3 pounds of goat. And I'm going to start by washing that with some vinegar. About a 1/4 cup of vinegar. And this is one of the reasons why you have to clean and inspect your meat. We actually have a bit of the skin that's left on here. To season my goat, I'm going to be making a green seasoning. So here I have some scallions or green onions, thyme, pimento or allspice, a small Scotch bonnet pepper, half of a medium onion, some fresh ginger, a few cloves of garlic, and some parsley. And I'll be sure to link the exact measurements in the description box for you. So I'm going to roughly chop these ingredients and add them to my blender to start making my green seasoning. I'm adding about 3 tablespoons of water so that it can blend a bit easier. And I actually have a green seasoning video that's also linked in the description. My goat is nice and clean, and I allowed it to drain a bit in order to remove all that excess water. So I'm going to go in with my green seasoning. And I make sure that I get every bit of that into it. Next up, 1 tablespoon of sea salt, one teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon garlic powder, 1 teaspoon onion powder, 1 tablespoon of all-purpose seasoning, and of course curry powder. I always opt for Indian curry powder because in my opinion it gives the best flavor as well as color. So I'm going to go in with about 3 tablespoons of that. And I'm going to use my hand to mix all that in. And this smells so good already, guys. So now I'm going to cover this with some plastic wrap and leave that in my fridge to marinate overnight. My meat has marinated nicely overnight, and here I have my Dutch pot that I love to use to cook my stews. So I'm going to start out by adding a few tablespoons of canola oil. You don't have to use canola oil, you can use whichever oil you prefer. And normally I skim my oil off as soon as I finish searing my meat. And I like when my oil is well hot so that my goat can get a nice sear, because I want to lock in all that flavor. So my pot is well hot and I'm going to go in with my meat. And I'm going to keep my stove on high so that I can get a nice sear. So I'm going to leave it for about a minute to sear on one side before I start to stir my pot. My meat has browned nicely on all sides, and what I'm going to do is to go in with some hot water and get all this flavor that's left behind in the pan that I seasoned the meat in. And pour it into my pot. And you always want to use hot water. You just put a little bit more. Let me do a bit of taste test before I cover it. And it's perfect. So I'm going to reduce my stove to medium low. And cover my pot. And what I'm going to do is to check on my pot at half-hour intervals until my goat is finished cooking. My pot has been going for about half an hour, and I want to show you guys how it's looking so far. And I apologize for that hissing sound that you hear in the background. That's my pressure cooker. And it's looking so good. I'm just going to put a bit more of water in that. Because it's going to be about another half an hour before I check it again. And as you can see, the oil is already... And as you can see here, the oil is actually going to one side of the pot. So I'm going to be skimming that off shortly. And just a tip that I want to share with you guys, I always make sure that I keep hot water ready, so when I go to check my pot, I can just pour that in if it's needed. It has been exactly 2 hours since my goat is cooking, and I want to show you how nice and tender it is so far. Just look at that, guys. I'm going to add some vegetables, and here I have 1 medium carrot, and this is 1 medium chocho. Normally I'd use Irish potatoes, but I have a lot of these in my fridge and I want to use them up. If you don't know what chocho is, it's a type of vegetable. You can actually research it. It's actually very good in stews. And I'm going to allow this to cook for another 15 minutes, after which it should be done. So my curry goat is finished. Let me turn my stove off. And guys, just look how tender this goat is. Just give that a quick taste test. Nice, flavorful. Just the right amount of spice from the Scotch bonnet pepper. Of course, if you don't like spice, you can opt to leave that out. And the total cook time for this was 2 hours and 15 minutes. And there you have it, delicious, authentic Jamaican curried goat, or as we like to say, curry goat. Thank you so much for watching. It's always a pleasure having you in my kitchen. Don't forget to tag me on Instagram at JUENFO_. I'd love to see how yours turn out. And remember, live life to the fullest and just enjoy food.